IZEN.global. Reuters reports the Pineda family trudged northward for more than a month with a group of migrants of Central Americans who now are stuck at the U.S. border. But they were on the run in Honduras much longer than that due to fears of political persecution. According to the family's accounts, masked men in military uniforms came in November 2017 to their door in the town of Peña Blanca, brandishing handguns and giving them two options: leave or be killed. They chose to leave, taking refuge with friends and family for nearly a year, they said, before joining thousands of others in a 2,800-mile journey to the United States in October. The confrontation occurred on November 26, 2017, the night of Honduras's presidential election. Active in the leftist opposition Libre Party, the Pinedas believed their tormentors were loyal to conservative President Juan Orlando Hernandez. His security forces killed at least 16 people in major street protests that followed his disputed re-election, and nobody has been criminally charged, according to a report from the United Nations. Secundina Pineda, one of four sisters living with their 65-year-old father and a toddler inside a tent at a migrant camp in Tijuana, Mexico, said, "They told me that for getting people involved in political parties, they were going to fill me with lead." Their story points to the largely overlooked political violence in Honduras that, along with grinding poverty, has helped create a humanitarian crisis at the U.S. doorstep. Reuters, however, could not independently verify the story. Secundina is the most educated of her family, having studied business administration. A Honduran Armed Forces spokesman vehemently denied the account or any other political persecution, but human rights observers in Honduras and immigration lawyers representing some of the migrants said they have heard similar stories of security forces entering homes and intimidating opposition political activists. Military police have conducted arbitrary searches and seizures and broken up opposition demonstrations, according to the rights groups, a contention denied by the military. In a country with one of the highest murder rates in the world, death squads have conducted 38 massacres of 5 or more people in 2018, according to Berta Oliva, director of the human rights group Committee of the Relatives of the Disappeared in Honduras. She contended that political cases are written off as common crime. Captain Jose Dominga Mesa, a military spokesman, said the Honduran armed forces absolutely do not persecute anybody, adding, "A lot of people who are trying to get asylum in the United States are looking for political justification, a lot of times blaming the armed forces. We invite this family that says they've been persecuted to return to the country." U.S. immigration lawyer Maritza Agundez estimated 20 to 25% of her coalition's clients are Hondurans with credible political asylum cases. The Hondurans who report harassment from official security forces vow never to return home. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Americans across the nation made their voices heard this week as they demanded more mind-blowing guitar solos. Calling for the solos to be, quote, face-meltingly cool and go on for well over 10 minutes, Americans stressed that all guitar solos from now on should be equally as kick-ass as those in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher and AC/DC's Thunderstruck, or even better.
It should start out really slow, and then get faster and faster until they're all the way up at the top of the guitar neck and bending the notes like crazy. So it's like, and then there's all this awesome pyrotechnic stuff going off in the background. They should all be like that.
And in this week's local news, a report noted that on its surface, Glenbrook, Ohio is a small town like any other, a peaceful, all-American town. And yet, the report's authors added, if you only look closer, what you find may surprise you. In other news, a man is just having one of those decades where he doesn't feel like doing anything.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition. And you are free to call in and talk live here. It's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
The telephone number, should you wish to make the telephone call, is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Also, worth noting is that we have the Discord call-in lines, and these are this is a feature you just don't get out of talk radio very much. But you'll sound so much better if you if you choose to go to discord.freetalklive.com. There's an app there. Usually, you get it on your phone, and it just makes the sound quality. You'd think it'd just be the same old thing, but really, the problem with your audio isn't your phone. It's not even the cell tower. It's the wires that run in between the cell towers. And those only have a certain amount of capability as far as audio goes. Whereas the Discord lines, voice over IP technology, and you'll sound great. Discord.freetalklive.com. Darryl, you brought in a piece of prep that has us all wondering, because everybody wants this. These are 6 tips. Is that correct? Did I get the number right?
Yes.
There's always some number of tips.
There are a number, yes.
There's usually that number is above 5 and, well, usually below 20, whatever the tips are on the internet. This particular set of tips will help you to live a happier life.
According to Harvard researchers who followed 800 people...
Why is it always Harvard? I mean, do all the Ivy League schools get together? You never hear, according to Cornell research...
Shouldn't it be someplace in like New Orleans? I mean, are they really that happy at Harvard?
I don't know. I mean, perhaps.
Well,
when you sober up, New Orleans isn't that great either.
The researchers followed 800 people over the course of, quote, multiple decades, and according to Business Insider, found 6 things that make people live longer, happier lives.
All right. Color me skeptical here, but
yes.
Okay.
As am I, because a lot of times, these lists of millionaires do these 6 things.
Yep.
People will flip it around and say, if you do these 6 things, you'll be a millionaire. Well, no, Bob that works at Dollar General, if you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but you keep your job at Dollar General, you're not making 6 figures next month.
No, that won't change anything.
No, like there are a lot of things that you have to do, but, just waking up 3 hours earlier isn't going to automatically make you a millionaire.
Nah, it's probably going to help, though. I think it's a good place to start.
It might help, but if you're still working a minimum wage job, it's not doing anything.
The math isn't going to change anything, but hopefully if you're getting up earlier, that means you're consuming fewer illicit substances, and those things are speed bumps on the way to success. Also, if you're getting up earlier, your mind has a chance to get working and doing stuff. You're much more likely to operate at top performance at work, so you're more likely to take your boss's job rather than your own. So I still recommend the getting up early.
But how happy
I'm not saying it's not good advice. I'm not saying it's not good advice.
Darryl, nobody's disagreeing with you. Please go on with your damn list.
Wow, you're an angry man.
I'm not happy. Go ahead and give me some lists.
He needs the tips.
Business Insider says there's a lot of good advice on how to be happier or more productive or how to have a better relationship, but tips on how to improve your whole life, something that will last decades and experience countless unpredictable changes, those should be regarded with extreme skepticism. The only way to get some real good insight would be to follow a lot of people over the course of their lives and see what actually works. Luckily, someone did. The study of adult development combined 3 massive longitudinal studies, research projects that followed people from youth until old age.
You're killing me here. What are the tips?
No, I know, but I think this is great, though. I think it's important to lay the foundation, is that this sounds like they're doing the right thing. Lots of people, a long time.
Right. The study from the actual study here, Aging Well, Surprising Guidepost to a Happier Life from the Landmark Study of Adult Development. The study of adult development is a rarity in medicine, for quite deliberately it set out to study the lives of, well, not the sick. In doing so, it has integrated 3 cohorts of elderly men and women, all of whom have been studied continuously for 6 to 8 decades. For this, there's a sample of 268 socially advantaged Harvard graduates born about 1920, the longest prospective study of physical and mental health in the world. Second, there's a sample of 456 socially disadvantaged inner-city men born about 1930. The longest prospective study of blue-collar adult development in the world. Third, there's a sample of 90 middle-class, intellectually gifted women born about 1910. The longest prospective study of women's development in the world.
So no middle-class men. I am unrepresented in this study.
Like the proverbial half loaf of
But again,
bread.
considering the way I just yelled at Daryl, I suppose it's a good idea.
Like the proverbial half loaf of bread, these studies are not perfect, but they present what they are, arguably the best lifelong study of adult development in the world. George Valentine is professor at Harvard Medical School and led the study for over 30 years. With almost a century of data on nearly 1,000 people, there are plenty of insights. Business Insider says we'll cover the 6 big ones that can get you on your path to awesomeness. Remember, skimming blog post voids the warranty. If you don't read the whole thing and your life goes on to be awful, you'll know why.
I'm not sure there's a warranty anyway.
There's not, but it's funny nonetheless. Number 1, avoid smoking and alcohol.
Oh, well, okay, I'm off.
Like avoid alcohol entirely?
Let's see what it says.
I don't smoke, but...
In both male cohorts, not being a heavy smoker before the age of 50 was the most important single predictive factor of physical aging, or rather a healthy physical aging. Among the college men, heavy smoking, more than a pack a day for 30 years, was 10 times more frequent among the prematurely dead than among the happy well.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yet,
that's good, right? They don't count dead as happy.
Yes. There might be some happy dead, but they're prematurely dead.
Hold on. Somebody wants to talk to me about my yelling here. Vernon from Louisiana. I've also insulted Louisiana, so go on, Vernon.
Mark, you just made my day. I was sitting there almost yelling at my radio, and then all of a sudden you just kick it up and you just take care of what I was trying to say. So I'm so glad you're here through the winter. Please don't go back to Florida. Just stay on, or if you go back to Florida, have the sky viewing, because this show has got to have some balance with you. Thank you.
Mark's job, bringing voice to the a-holes of America. Thank you, Vernon. Thank you for the call.
I would dare say the entire universe. Yet, if a man stops
I
smoking...
am Intergalactic Space King.
By the age of 45, the effects of smoking, as much as 1 pack a day for 20 years, could at 70 or 80 no longer be discerned. And drinking too much doesn't only hurt your health. Over the long haul, it makes you less happy and screws up relationships.
Okay, well, how much is too much?
Right, that's always the question when it comes to alcohol. And if you can, if you can skirt the line, then you're just consuming alcohol and just having fun. But it's kind of like the smoking, only there's a much wider margin of fudging when it comes to alcohol. So smoking, most people died, and then a few of them made it to 70 or 80, and at that point it didn't seem to make a difference as far as smoking goes. Because there's that small percentage of people that can smoke, and it doesn't seem to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a smoker, you are not one of those people. Stop today. And try vaporizing, try Chantix, try anything.
You know, it's amazing to me. My daughter is 15 and she goes to a boarding school, and she sees people take up smoking now, and it's just crazy to start.
It's not even cool.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at the very least, you could have considered it cool when I was in school, but no, not even now.
Right, but see, kids have to do the opposite of what's cool, so if it's way not cool, then you totally have to do it.
Well, that's all right. Dying also, or living also not cool, or one of those. So they're going to do the opposite of living.
It's just unfortunate that cool encompasses things that are foolish. I mean, cool is fine as long as it's not foolish. Taking up smoking now, knowing what we know.
Yeah. Sadly. And I get, I was addicted to it too, and I did not feel like I had the power to quit.
But you quit before 45?
Yes, I did. Yes, I'm 47.
Right. Then the effects at the age of 70 or 80 could no longer be discerned.
You'll be 70 or 80
so you're good.
Yeah. I'm just rushing headlong into 70 or 80.
It's only like next week, right?
Right. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We're talking about tips on living a happier life. If you've got a tip, well, let me know. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
if you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids,
flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa,
the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
Free Talk Live.
I was in the military for 31 years, and I hear all this talk about the draft and defending freedom and all that. From my perspective, as I'm ex-Navy, I never defended anybody's freedom, American or anybody else's. I was a hired thug for the U.S. government. It's just propaganda put out by the government, and it's we're the best and the brightest, and all of that just makes me ill because of all the millions of people that have died because the American military is all over the world. There's nobody attacking us. I mean, our government is like every other government. It's run by degenerate psychopaths that are power mad, and I have no clue what goes on inside their mind, but it's nothing good.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It's a live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
You can call in, talk about whatever you want. We're talking about 6 tips for living a happier life. Want to tell you, well, one thing is going to help you live a happier life is when you feel some level of security over your house and your possessions being, watched over. Well, you can do that with the Blink Home Security System. And it's so much easier, so much less costly. Pretty much every positive thing I could say about Blink, you set it up and you don't have to worry about it anymore. The Blink Home Security System, for less than $100, you can get one of their systems. And we've got some deals here for you. I'll tell you about it. But for less than $100, you can get one of their systems. You can pay more and get more cameras, and that's great. But for less than $100, you can get one of their systems and set it up. If movement comes in front of it, it'll light up a LED light and record that for you, send it directly to your phone, or you can check in on it, like, I just want to look at my camera. You can just use your phone and go right through the camera. It sets up in minutes, and a AA battery will run it for 2 years. That's how much work it is. I never have to think about mine unless I get a little indicator, and usually that means the cat is out and about. So just go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. It's blinkprotect.com/FTL. The camera system makes a great holiday gift and a brilliant way to monitor holiday package deliveries. Save up to a whopping 40% off of all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. blinkprotect.com/FTL. It is an Amazon company. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
So, jumping back into the article here from Business Insider about a book that was published about a very extensive study done by Harvard University, where they followed over 800 people for several decades, and they've compiled a list of here are the things that the people that lived longer, happier lives did. And the first one was to avoid smoking and avoid alcohol.
I'd like to say alcohol abuse.
Right, and that's what they get into. Yeah. So, Laurel, you had asked the question, like,
how much is too much?
How much can I drink? They don't give an actual number, but they do say, like some people drink because of various problems, but the study showed that alcohol is an independent cause of problems, not merely a result of problems. Prospective study reveals that alcohol abuse is a cause rather than a result of increased life stress or depression and of downward social mobility. Alcohol abuse unrelated to unhappy childhood consistently predicted unsuccessful aging, and in part because alcoholism damaged future social support. They also mentioned maintaining a healthy weight also increased lifespan, and regular exercise boosted both longevity and happiness.
Are we still on number one, or is this number two?
Still on number one. Okay. So they combined really 3 different things in number one.
Things you put in your mouth.
Pretty
for
much.
300,
well,
Alex?
Not exercise, though. You don't put exercise in your mouth.
What did they mention? Exercise? No, they were eating, healthy eating.
It says maintaining a healthy weight.
I see.
So
to me, that was eating.
Right. So
you can exercise.
You can exercise
your
a
butt
lot
off and still be fat.
Well, but if you're only eating, 300 calories of Twinkies per day, you're eating absolutely horribly, but you're going to, look healthy.
Mm-hmm. Not for long.
Keywords there, look healthy. You're not actually going to be healthy.
Let's go to Robert in Vermont. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, I want to share a couple of things that I did that helped me to get, a little healthier and a little happier.
Okay.
At one point, I was, almost up to 400 pounds. I had gained a lot of weight, but I started, swimming up back of my house. I have a river out there that's deep enough for me to, go in over my head. And
it's a deep river.
Exactly. And, if anybody knows that river water is cold and it burns off thousands of calories.
That's true.
While you're sitting in the water.
Right. Your body, your metabolism has to jump up in order to keep you from dying in the water. Now, the trick is to not stay in too long. Otherwise, the dying thing, your body's not able to stave that off anymore.
Right.
I've also heard that if you're in water below a certain temperature, and I think it's 85 degrees, that you might lose weight, but your body is actually burning muscle because the fat is what keeps you warm.
I'd be really curious as to how that would happen. If you're moving your muscles, I would be, I'd like to hear more about that. Robert, anything else?
The second thing that I do, and I would encourage a lot of people to at least look into this, is consuming cannabis.
Well, I hadn't thought of, I suppose you haven't said smoking, all right? Combusted plant material in your lungs isn't good.
I'm an ex-smoker, but I still smoke cannabis, but I want to go into, either vaping or some kind of edibles or something like that. But I would certainly encourage people to look into, cannabis and the, healthy things it can do, and there's other ways of being able to consume it other than smoking it.
Your results may vary.
This is not medical advice.
Thank you, Robert.
I don't think that I've ever seen anything that says that, cannabis cures weight loss. I've heard people
he said healthier.
say all kinds of weird things about cannabis cures everything.
Well, I've heard that, like it's God's plant and all that sort of thing. However, what I would say is that it's medicine, and it can help in certain circumstances, and if it helps, then it's healthier.
It's not a cure-all.
And I believe that cannabis increases your appetite. It's often used as an appetite stimulant.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Right. I wasn't looking for a weight loss.
Yeah.
He didn't say weight loss. That I don't think.
I have heard that for people that suffer from various things that cause nausea, that the cannabis alleviates the nausea and allows them to actually eat.
That's healthier.
Yeah, for certain people. Number 2 on the list. I'm reading this verbatim. Years of education equal good.
Okay.
It's probably no surprise that on average, the Harvard men were healthier at age 70 than the underprivileged men. But here's the twist. If you compared only the guys from both groups who attended college, the difference vanished. The physical health of the 70-year-old inner city men was as poor as that of the Harvard men at 80, but remarkably, the health of the college-educated inner city men at 70 was as good as that as the Harvard men at age 70. This was in spite of the fact that their childhood social class, their tested IQ, their income, and the prestige of their colleges and jobs were markedly inferior to those of the Harvard men. Parity of education alone was enough to produce parity in physical health. This was not due to family income, and it wasn't due to IQ. Pursuing more education led to better habits and healthier lives.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So they did sort of attempt to isolate IQ so that it wasn't part of their study, because that would have been the first thing I went to here.
And I went to money, that if you're more educated, you make more money, and a correlation.
Yeah.
But they said they accounted for that, so interesting.
Adds here, the components of education that appeared to correlate with physical health and old age were self-care and perseverance, not IQ or income.
Self-care and perseverance. Got it.
The ability to get stuff done.
Yeah. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You got tips on how to live a healthier life. Happier life, because healthy and happy tend to go together.
Happy and longer.
Yeah. 855-450-3733.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We know you've had Dragon's Breath in the morning, but you've got to experience Dragon's Breath at night. Wolf Hill Ammo's Dragon's Breath, an incendiary shotgun round in 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and a 410 with an amazing muzzle flash and a fireball that launches up to 125 yards. Pure fun to shoot. At Wolf Hill Ammo, we love shotguns and offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market. Visit wolfhillammo.com to see our large selection of specialty shotgun ammo at great prices with flat rate shipping. wolfhillammo.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We're on number 3 of the 6 tips for living a happier life. And
happier and longer.
Happy and longer. Okay, yes.
Because one can live a happy life but die at 50.
Sure.
This list is talking about people that live to at least 80.
Right. Be happy, jump off a bridge at the same time. Then you will have a happy life, right? It's all, the rest of it was happy.
No.
SaveAtPurse.com, however, will make you happy because you're saving money. At SaveAtPurse.com, you can buy things at Amazon and get a very happy 20 to 30% off of everything you buy.
Yep.
SaveAtPurse.com. Darryl, you've bought thousands of dollars worth of stuff over there. You've been doing it for years at this point, and I mean, it's a great service. Now, admittedly, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but they've got instructional videos there. It's SaveAtPurse.com. Go over there, sign up for your account. SaveAtPurse.com.
And I just pulled up. I've had 108 transactions that have gone through. I've got one that's currently open. Current savings, $1,030.93.
Nice.
Not including...
Because you buy a lot of little things.
Right. Yeah. That's not including the almost $3 that I'm saving on a Christmas present for Jackie.
Very nice.
Yeah.
SaveAtPurse.com. What is tip number 3, Darryl?
Tip number 3, and this is one that unfortunately is largely out of the hands of the people that were being studied. A happy childhood. They say how much someone was loved as a child predicted their adult income better than knowing what social class they were brought up in. From the book, Aging Well, Surprising Guidepost to a Happier Life from the landmark study of adult development, for both the inner city men and the Harvard men, the best predictor of a high income was not their parents' social class, but whether their mother had made them feel loved.
So it's mother specifically. Dad doesn't need to be in the picture on this one.
It only specifies mother in this first sentence. Let me continue. They say many say that you can find out what someone is really made out of by seeing how they handle a really stressful situation. The study of adult development.
I always heard it was dial-up speed internet.
That could be a stressful situation. The study of adult development found that the people who aged the best had coped well with something so horrific you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. Adolescence. The book, again, says, again, as I have followed the lives of the inner city men, one of the best indicators of successful aging was how well they had adapted in junior high school. Of the 150 inner-city men with the best scores for coping in junior high school, 56 were among the happy well, and only 13 were among the sad sick. Of the 19 inner-city men with the lowest scores for adolescent adaptation, only a single man was among the happy well, and 11 men, 3/5, were among the sad sick or prematurely dead. Successful adolescents predicted successful old age.
Okay, so this brings us up to a really important point. It says that how well they adapted at high school.
Junior high
school. So this is where the school system comes in. And I think it is really important. This is one of the things I really focused on with my kids. It wasn't just about their education, the quality of the education. It was also the experience that they were having at the school. And this is why, to me, it was so important to be able to move the children to wherever I thought they would be happiest and not what the public school system assigned them to.
Right.
Because that might not be the right place for them.
Chances are good. I mean, statistically, what's the likelihood of you being born in the geopolitical designation of the school that is best for your kid? But they're going to make it. They're going to try to make those schools all as similar as they can. Obviously, they can't because of they've all got different students and different teachers in them. They're going to try to make them as similar as possible, and usually that similarity has an institutionality to it.
And even if they did manage to make them all exactly the same, that I think means that they're not going to be good for every student because one size does not fit all.
Right.
The environment that's good for one kid is going to be the wrong environment for another kid.
And of course, Amazon doesn't sell time machines yet. So saying you should have picked better parents isn't helpful. So if your childhood was less than perfect and your adolescence felt like a bad reality show, does that mean you're doomed? No. What went right in childhood was more predictive than what went wrong. The book again says a warm childhood, like a rich father, tended to inoculate the men against future pain, but a bleak childhood, such as with a poverty-stricken father, did not condemn either the Harvard or the inner-city men to misery. Perhaps the best summary statement is, what goes right in childhood predicts the future far better than what goes wrong.
But even if you can't change your childhood because it's in the past and you had no control over it, you can affect the childhood of your children. So it's something to keep in mind for your own children, if not for yourself.
Right. And this doesn't mean being a good parent. This just means being a loving parent. You're going to make... Parenthood is a series of mistakes, and
that's true.
Yeah, right. And pre-parenthood, the series before is just a period of time where you discern the mistakes that your parents made. So I mean, the mistakes are going to be made here. It's really just about loving your kids, and most people can pull that off.
Continuing on, skipping down a little bit, it says a good marriage at age 50 predicted positive aging at age 80. After following disadvantaged Hawaiian youth for almost half a century, Emmy Werner explained that, quote, the most salient turning points for most of the troubled individuals, however, were meeting a caring friend and marrying an accepting spouse. We need love at every age, but a warm childhood is a great blessing. As with so many other things in life, better late than never. Which leads into number 4, relationships. Plenty of men and women who had smarts and family wealth didn't fare well, and many who had fewer advantages did just fine. It was people's ability to deal with others that made the biggest difference. The book says the lives of all 3 cohorts repeatedly demonstrated that it was social aptitude, something called emotional intelligence, not intellectual brilliance or parental social class, that leads to a well-adapted old age.
Yes, I can tell you for certain that being highly intelligent does not necessarily make you happy.
Successful aging means giving to others joyously, even whenever one is able. Receiving from others gratefully whenever one needs it, and being greedy enough to develop one's own self in between.
Yeah, I think that gift acceptance, anybody can give a gift. That's a relatively easy thing to do. But accepting a gift that's given to you gracefully is a sign of a person who has, slid well into adulthood. Yeah, thank you. You thank the person, you look them in the eye, and you accept the gift. You know, no. Like, the no thing. Everybody, giving gifts is great, and people want to be able to give gifts. Allow them to give them to you.
Right.
This is why I prefer to open the gift when they're not there, so that when they give it to me and it's in the wrapping paper, it's easier for me to pretend how much I love it before I've opened it. Thank you so much. And then I can open it in private and be like, oh, God.
So what's one of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to relationships?
Going for beauty over a good match.
No.
Okay.
Not working hard enough to create new ones when the old ones fade away.
Okay.
So they're not talking about just romantic relationships here. They're talking about all types of relationships with various people.
So we sort of have to accept that we are going to drift away from people.
Yes.
And we have to constantly be forming new relationships.
Successful aging requires continuing to learn new things and continuing to take people in. A widening social radius at age 50 was just as important to successful psychosocial aging as emotional maturity.
I wonder, though, whether this is a particularly American thing, because in a lot of parts of the world, people have one social area because they're in the same town and they stay there their whole lives.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is an American thing.
Maybe. I'm not really sure.
I wonder whether it's just sort of a jaded and callous thing. As I get older, I have more finely tuned my opinions on people's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like a wide variety of behavior, and now I cast a wide, much of that wide variety of behavior is just bad. And so, when I see people, even in my age group, with that behavior, I'm like,
I don't know. I think I've been pretty judgmental the whole time. I'm
pretty judgmental, yeah. 855-450-3733. Up next, judgmentalness and your happiness. 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
It's not exactly judgmental, but it's close.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Here is what one satisfied customer had to say about Heart and Body Extract regarding his angina pain.
I haven't had an angina pain since I've been on it. The Heart Body Extract is just so great. I thank God that I was led to this product that's doing so much for me and that can do so much for other people.
Call to order your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin. mymagicmud.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
855-450-FREE. We're going through a list of 6 tips for living a longer and healthier life. I believe we're on tip number 4?
5.
5.
So let me run through 1 through 4 real quick. Number 1 was avoid smoking and excessive drinking. I'm adding in the word excessive because
that's what it meant.
Right. They talk about alcohol abuse, not just having a glass of wine once a week or once a night or something. Now, if that is abusive for you, then avoid that. But they're really talking about something akin to alcoholism. Number 2, but with the smoking, they're talking about just
smoking,
just 1 pack a day.
Smoking cigarettes is an addiction.
Yeah.
End of story.
Number 2, they say more education is better. Even removing the different socioeconomic backgrounds, the IQs, just, if you went to college, doesn't matter where you went to college, at the age of 80, you're basically going to be as in good shape and as happy as anybody else that went to college and lived to the age of 80. Number 3, happy childhood. And again, they say, you can't build a time machine to undo things, but the sooner you realize to, basically accept the good that has happened, the better. Number 4 on the list is relationships, and not just romantic, but all different types of relationships. And again, the most important thing is creating new relationships when old ones fade away. So, friends move for whatever reason, find new friends. Number 5, coping skills. Using mature defenses, basically that means how you respond to painful thoughts and feelings produced by difficult people, and this occasional horror show we call life. When things don't go your way, teenagers scream and pout and blame everyone but themselves. However,
sometimes presidents.
When people become adults, well, sometimes they still scream and pout and blame everyone but themselves. And this does not lead to good things. How you cope with the inevitable problems of life has a far-reaching long-term consequence. The book says in both samples, mature defenses were common among the happy well and virtually absent among the sad sick. Blaming others, being passive-aggressive, living in denial, acting out, and retreating into fantasy were all maladaptive coping mechanisms associated with poor outcomes. The 4 mature coping strategies are not only associated with maturity, but they can be reframed as virtues. Such virtues, they say, can include doing as one would be done by altruism, artistic creation to resolve conflict and spinning straw into gold, or sublimation, suppression, which they define as a stiff upper lip, patience, seeing the bright side, and finally, humor, the ability to not take oneself too seriously, Mr. King of whatever. These latter behaviors are the very stuff of which Victorian morality plays are made, and they provide antidotes to narcissism.
This is why dark humor is so important, is that it's one of the healthiest ways to to deal with difficult situations.
Yeah, I like the stiff upper lip part of this. I mean, so suppression of emotions doesn't get the credit it deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you need to suppress your emotions. I know everybody said let it all out. They were wrong.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Sometimes you need to temporarily suppress until you get to another location.
Yes.
I'm of the opinion that I read this someplace and it really resonated for me that there isn't a catharsis to just sort of letting go of your emotions. Mm-hmm. It doesn't result in you getting over it more quickly. It doesn't result in you being able to deal with problems in the future. That basically what it is you either act like an a-hole whenever the emotion strikes you, or you don't, and then whatever happens later. This Hollywood thing about suppressing your emotions and somehow that leads to all kinds of problems in your future, I don't think so.
I think for everybody, the best thing to do is be very conscious when your stress is being relieved and what is causing it to be relieved, and then try to repeat that the next time. So sort of pay attention to your own emotions and realize what does make you feel better. I was very surprised when I started becoming more conscious of this, that what made me feel better was to list out what I have to get done and get a couple of those things done.
Oh, yeah.
And then I felt better.
That's great.
So, I would recommend that to everybody. Be conscious of what it is that makes you feel better and try to do that as much as possible.
And they say, so if you learn to use mature coping skills and don't act like a selfish brat, you're ahead of the game. But those who truly thrived took it to a whole nother level. And number 6.
Hold on, before you go on, I've got another coping skill that I use for stress. So at some point I had to decide, look, like there was different tasks that I had to do. Some tasks were more like, business oriented. I had to call this client or, do that particular thing or whatever. In other cases, it was I had to take out the trash or I had to, fix a shelf or do all kinds of things and, maybe take the car to the shop. There's always tasks. And just because I was switching between types of tasks did not mean that I was getting stress relief. For me, it took basically hiking in the woods or
rolling around with sweaty guys.
There's that too. Yeah, that would agreed.
Jiu-jitsu, everybody. I'm talking about jiu-jitsu.
They do get sweaty. And Quaker meeting, so meditation, things like that.
Hold on, you roll around with sweaty guys at the Quaker meeting too?
I think I don't. And but
I don't know what happens at Quaker meeting. I've never been.
Hiking for me, really, I had to set aside time to not achieve things, to not get things done. I needed this is a time for peaceful, contemplation as opposed to time for getting things done. And what I found is I was getting just as many things done, but I was the stress levels were decreasing.
So number 6, they've actually created a word. Generativity.
This sounds like a bad idea. All right. Generativity.
Generativity is giving back.
Okay.
They say generativity means building community. Depending on the opportunities that the society makes available, generativity can mean serving as a consultant, a guide, a mentor, or a coach to young adults in the larger society. Research reveals that between age 30 to 45, our need for achievement declines and our need for community and affiliation increases.
Okay.
When you're young, you're selfish, and that's okay. We need to figure the world out, we need to figure ourselves out, and we need to build a life. But when that's done, the best way to selfishly improve your life is to be unselfish and focus on helping those around you. The book, again, Aging Well, Surprising Guidepost to a Happier Life from the Landmark Study of Adult Development, says among all 3 sampled generative men and women at 50 were 3 to 6 times as likely to be among the happy well in old age as among the sad sick. In all 3 study cohorts, mastery of generativity tripled the chances that the decade of the 70s, that being their age, not 1970s, would be for these men and women a time of joy and not despair. So they say spend the first few decades building a good life and a well-rounded self, and then spend the remaining decades sharing with others what you have gained and what you have learned.
Well, it's from 30 to 45. They expect you to begin sharing what you've learned. I mean, I feel like I was just at 30. I was just beginning to learn things. I don't know that I could have.
Mark, you're currently sharing things that you have learned with your son. It doesn't mean that you're, teaching classes at Harvard University.
No, I mean, but they did mention mentorship and that sort of thing, and there's so it's a big commitment.
Being a consultant, a guide, a mentor, or a coach.
Sure. So that's the that was number 6, right?
That was number 6, and then they have a summary where they basically just recap each one again. Avoid smoking and excessive drinking. Get a good education. Basically, they do specifically mention college, but it doesn't matter what the college is, whether it's prestigious or not prestigious. Just the fact that people went to college, they tended to be happier and live longer. Happy childhood is very important. Relationships, again, not just romantic. Having good coping skills, and then generativity.
Do I just have to walk in the door of the college in order to get this benefit, or do I have to have graduated the college?
They don't mention graduation, but they do mention attending, which I think means at least paying for tuition once or twice. But I have been to Duke.
Right. So did you see a basketball game?
No.
Oh.
Got a campus tour.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Have you heard the warning from the dead doctors don't lie guy? I'm talking about Dr. Joel Wallach. He says if you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol or high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, or other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. That's what he says. He has a free lecture revealing what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally. And it's all in his free lecture called Deadly Recipe. You want it free? Call him toll free at 855-79-YOUNG. You ready? 855-79-YOUNG. Dr. Joel Wallach, the dead doctors don't lie guy, says there's no reason why we shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, December 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.56 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,238 per ounce. Zen is trading at $4, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,285. Antiwar.com reports on Friday the Parliament of Kosovo voted in favor of the creation of a 5,000-man standing army. The plan has been deeply criticized by NATO, which has warned it will force them to re-examine their own military presence. The plan has been discussed for a few weeks, with NATO opposing the idea. The U.S. endorsed the plan, saying it was a historic move for Kosovo. Serbia, which still views Kosovo as part of its territory, has warned that they may have to react militarily to the new army. The issue from the Serbian perspective is that the Western-backed Kosovo government is Albanian-dominated and prone to violent crackdowns on the region's ethnic Serbian minority. The concern is that the military will just be used to escalate this and try to expel what's left of the Serbs from northern Kosovo. NATO forcibly separated Kosovo from Serbia and has continued to back their independence. The split left a number of Serbs who opposed the separation on the Kosovo side of the NATO-imposed border, and Kosovo has been trying to prevent them trading and traveling across the border. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the Pineda family trudged northward for more than a month with a group of migrants of Central Americans who now are stuck at the U.S. border. But they were on the run in Honduras much longer than that due to fears of political persecution. According to the family's accounts, masked men in military uniforms came in November 2017 to their door in the town of Peña Blanca, brandishing handguns and giving them two options: leave or be killed. They chose to leave, taking refuge with friends and family for nearly a year, they said, before joining thousands of others in a 2,800-mile journey to the United States in October. The confrontation occurred on November 26, 2017, the night of Honduras's presidential election. Active in the leftist opposition Libre Party, the Pinedas believed their tormentors were loyal to conservative President Juan Orlando Hernandez. His security forces killed at least 16 people in major street protests that followed his disputed re-election, and nobody has been criminally charged, according to a report from the United Nations. Secundina Pineda, one of four sisters living with their 65-year-old father and a toddler inside a tent at a migrant camp in Tijuana, Mexico, said, "They told me that for getting people involved in political parties, they were going to fill me with lead." Their story points to the largely overlooked political violence in Honduras that, along with grinding poverty, has helped create a humanitarian crisis at the U.S. doorstep. Reuters, however, could not independently verify the story. Secundina is the most educated of her family, having studied business administration. A Honduran armed forces spokesman vehemently denied the account or any other political persecution, but human rights observers in Honduras and immigration lawyers representing some of the migrants said they have heard similar stories of security forces entering homes and intimidating opposition political activists. Military police have conducted arbitrary searches and seizures and broken up opposition demonstrations, according to the rights groups, a contention denied by the military. In a country with one of the highest murder rates in the world, death squads have conducted 38 massacres of 5 or more people in 2018, according to Berta Oliva, director of the human rights group Committee of the Relatives of the Disappeared in Honduras. She contended that political cases are written off as common crime. Captain Jose Dominga Mesa, a military spokesman, said the Honduran armed forces absolutely do not persecute anybody, adding, "A lot of people who are trying to get asylum in the United States are looking for political justification, a lot of times blaming the armed forces. We invite this family that says they've been persecuted to return to the country." U.S. immigration lawyer Maritza Agundez estimated 20 to 25% of her coalition's clients are Hondurans with credible political asylum cases. The Hondurans who report harassment from official security forces vow never to return home. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. Hager physicists have created quantum slacks. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The stunning announcement that a team of Hager physicists has successfully developed quantum slacks was made this morning at a press conference in Philadelphia. According to Dr. Daniel Chang, head of the Hager team, conventional notions about the physical properties and possibilities of slacks have been turned on their heads.
We are on the verge of unzipping the secrets of creation and peering into the pants of God himself. It appears the very fabric of the universe may well be a smart cotton twill weave.
However, Chang urged caution in further research after tests conducted last month at the Hager Pants Propulsion Collider Laboratory in Dallas suggested the possible existence of so-called anti-pants, which could, in theory, initiate a chain reaction resulting in no pants at all. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition. You can call in and talk about anything that's on your mind. That's why we call it Free Talk Live, because you're free to call in and talk live here on the air if it is between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, no matter where you are. We're on the air. Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. And you can use our Discord chat and sound a lot better. Discord.freetalklive.com has got all the information for you. It's Mark.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
855-450-3733. Let's go to the phones. We've got Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, as we know, half of the Amtrak train services has been converted to bus services.
That's correct.
So my question is, when did all this happen, and why are they doing this?
Well, relatively recently, in the last few decades, people have determined that train travel is it's inefficient as far as cost, speed, those kind of things. You would think you'd be able to trade cost for speed, but you can't. If you want to trade cost for speed, you better drive your Prius because it's not going to work on trains. Buses to some extent, but it's not even that much cheaper to take a bus than it is an airplane. Airplanes are fast.
Depends on how far you're going.
Yeah, it depends. Yep.
Also, the trains are pretty cost effective up in the Northeast where the population density is really high.
Sure. If you're going from Boston or from Burlington to New York City or something like that, it can make some sense. But, I mean, honestly, if I get a parking lot outside of the city and just take their inner city rail, the light rail, rather than Amtrak, I'm going to save time and money. Plus, there's only one train ride from Brattleboro, Vermont to New York City.
New York.
So I'm going to have to. I can't take the train in the morning and take it out at night. I got to stay in and pay $300 or whatever it is for a hotel room in New York City.
You can actually get a hotel for less than $150.
Hotel and MRSA all at the same time.
I didn't get MRSA.
That you know of. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I would know. It's been a month and a half.
Sarah?
Well, the thing is, the Amtrak was meant to connect long distance city, connecting from state to state. One time I rode a train from Boston all the way to Seattle, and I made one train switch in Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah.
So it was meant to do long, I'm not talking about within states, 30 miles, you're talking about commuter trains. So then many of the routes have been replaced by the buses, but I'm pretty upset about it. I'm mad about it because they could continue the train. But to me, it was it's the Republican Congress that's back behind the petroleum oil. They run.
But the trains run on diesel.
Yeah, but it costs it's less oil than the buses would.
More importantly, they run on tracks, and those are expensive to maintain.
And also, there's more people per. More servants, I don't know what to call them, Amtrak employees per person on the train than there are for Greyhound bus drivers,
right?
Or
because
especially airline.
A Greyhound, you have the bus driver.
Yeah.
on the actual thing. With the train, you've got at least one conductor. You've got at least one person working a food cart somewhere. There's probably somebody else on the train that I don't even know of.
Well, there's the conductor. At the very least, one conductor runs one car. Then there's the snack bar operator, and there's the engineer who's driving the train. Right now, presumably, there's somebody else floating around somewhere. I don't know for sure, but that's a high level of cost.
Right.
Now, what the train will provide you that the bus will not provide you is a sleeper car. And that's a better way to travel than a bus. But when if
you can also get more people on a train than a bus, but if fewer people are using the thing, then, like market forces demand that you reduce the amount of the thing.
Right. I just took a month-long train ride across the United States, and one of the nights that I wasn't on 30 nights, but I probably spent 5 or 6 nights, call it 5 nights in coach. And of those 5 nights, one of those nights, I didn't have 2 seats to myself to stretch out and go to sleep. Only one of them. So, that means the bus is the train car is half empty.
Right.
And that's no way to run a railroad.
Right. And I just recently took a train within the last 3 months. I've taken a train both to and from D.C. and from New York City. I took a bus down to New York City, took a train back. The only time that the train, the Amtrak, was anywhere near full was the segment between New York City and Philadelphia.
I'm surprised that D.C. didn't make it there. Sarah, I'm sorry. Trains are going to go the way of stagecoaches. They're bad. At this point, they just don't financially make sense.
Well, I don't know. But,
okay.
Are they going to do away with it completely? What do you think that's going to happen?
It's up to the market forces and the government. Do you think the government should swoop in and pay a lot of money for something that there's not enough of a market?
The government
for?
already kind of subsidizes and owns Amtrak to some extent.
Right. Which just makes for surly Amtrak employees, by the way.
And how much money do you think the government should spend on something that obviously the people aren't demanding?
Well, you know what? They spend so much, half of our taxes on war spending, and most of us, we oppose that. They do it anyway.
That's not a justification for that.
So basically what I hear you saying is, well, they're wasting money on this one thing, so why not waste money on these other things?
Hold on. And Sarah, that 50% figure, as much as I hate war, that figure is not accurate. That's 50% of discretionary spending goes to the military. It's not 50% of the entire federal budget.
It's more like
it's closer to a third of the entire federal budget.
A little over a quarter, somewhere between a third and a quarter.
Bob, you're always concerned about my tax dollars. My tax dollars. They go to this.
I am.
My tax dollars. Okay, bet. They wasted in war like 1/3 of it.
They sure do.
Just because they wasted on one thing doesn't mean it's a good idea to waste it on something else.
Right, Sarah,
get rid of all of it.
Let me be abundantly clear.
Auction it off to the highest bidder.
I am a peace activist and a Quaker. I am outraged by the fact that my son is going to have a financial burden of still paying for the American Civil War, the war between the states. Why? Because the government has not been able to get its head out of its butt for over 100 years. And Americans continue to put up with it. And I don't know what else to say about that. Bad spending is bad spending. It doesn't matter whether it's on as you know what? I'll go down on the record on this one, Sarah. I would rather have inefficient, bad spending on relatively harmless choo-choos than I would on bombs dropped on people in foreign countries. But I'm against inefficient spending.
Yeah, but the thing is, they do it anyway. We can't complain about it.
Well, no, you can complain all you want. They're not going to listen to you, unfortunately.
Now, here's the question I have for you, Sarah. Why do you think, and I'm not saying you're wrong, as a matter of fact, I think you might be right, but why do you think that your voice for advocating for spending is more powerful than your voice for advocating for saving?
Saving? So, saving money, you're saying it's okay for 2 million homeless people to be homeless and freezing and starving. And
I'm saying that I believe...
more welfare money. But then we're making bombs and killing people. But that's okay. We can't do nothing about
Nope.
that.
No. You're saying we can't do anything about it. I'm saying I am actually more against war than I am against giving money to the homeless. Now, the idea of giving the money to the homeless, generally, I believe that this is an alcohol slush fund for bums, is what I believe that is.
Mark hates poor people. I'm more willing to give money to a homeless shelter.
Oh, no. I give money to a homeless shelter every single year. You know why? Because poor people aren't in charge of that money. They need those services. However, they have demonstrated over time the inability to care for themselves. That's why they're on the street and smell like urine. 855-450-3733. Thanks for the call, Sarah. 855-450-FREE. I only say the things other people think here on Free Talk Live. And you can disagree. 855-450-3733.
Did you have caffeine tonight?
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, it's the live Sunday edition. You can call in, talk about whatever you want. Last call was about Amtrak and why isn't it running more places? And, well, as a fan of trains and somebody who just recently went on an Amtrak trip, I think it's supply and demand is really the answer to the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Want to tell you about hope.freetalklive.com. This holiday season, you will be seeing family members, many of them young. And they're so cute, and they're so delightful to spend time around. I want you to take just a few moments to think about kids in Kigoma, Uganda. And I always get that name wrong. It always stumbles me. Jinja, Uganda. The town is Kigoma. Jinja is more like a region, I guess. And how what their lives are like. In many cases, AIDS, war, poverty has resulted in them having no parental guidance. There's also ones that have, just their families really don't have it together. And we, at Free Talk Live, built an orphanage that doubles as sort of a community center in Kigoma. And we're very proud. I mean, by the way, we didn't build it.
We raised the money.
We raised the money with the help of listeners. We coordinated and matched some funds. And we're very proud of our involvement in it and delighted. However, one thing's happened now that they have this great place and they can, take a shower and, have sanitary facilities and all the things that somebody needs. Has a bed with springs. That's really awesome. They're not sleeping in some closet, but like head to toe. It was amazing where they were previously. But now they need an ongoing source of income, something they can be proud of rather than going out and begging. And I think the best thing, talked to plenty of people on this, and we've done some research, and I'm ready to bring it to you guys now, is to buy 6 acres of land in Kigoma that they can walk to, that they can farm, they can grow some food, they can eat the food, they can also and get a variety of food rather than the same thing every day that's not nutritionally not positive for humans, and they can also sell the food and pay for their schooling. In this case, actually, there's enough kids there that they can bring in a teacher rather than paying school fees because it's cheaper to bring a teacher in. So it's a great project. If you'll please go to hope.freetalklive.com. That's hope.freetalklive.com. We will have your donation matched. So every dollar you give will be $2 to go to these kids. It's great, and I want to thank everybody who's donated so far. We've raised more than $4,000 at this point. But
what's the goal?
$35,000. So hope.freetalklive.com. Oh, and I said I'd make a promise here, Darryl. This is it. First go round. If we raise this $35,000 by Christmas, I will dye my hair red and green for the holidays.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah. I don't. Believe me. I'm really hoping it doesn't hit till the 26th. Red and green for the holidays, people. Hope.freetalklive.com. And yes, you can present that on every one of the shows, Darryl. You could do a Hope read and push it as hard as you want. I will do it. And you can take pictures and whatever.
So on what day will you dye your hair? Because you're going to be gone on the 25th.
All of my hair. Well, I'm coming back with hair, pal. It would probably be, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I suppose we could pick other colors if it's after Christmas. I mean, I'll tell you what, Darryl, I'll let you pick the appropriateness of the color for this. I just imagined red and green for the holidays, but I think you're right that if we hit it on December 25th, we hit the numbers by 11:59 p.m. on December 25th. Perhaps red and green aren't appropriate anymore. Maybe blue and gold for the new year. Look, and it's all my hair. There won't be brown left. Well, I can't do anything about the gray, people.
It'll dye better.
Yeah. It'll die nicely, indeed. So I'll put Darryl in charge of that, and believe me, he will make it as sadistic as possible. Don't you worry.
Yes.
It's hope.freetalklive.com.
I think a nice purple with red highlights.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. God, that's hideous. Are you kidding? Is it? All right, go to Doug in Virginia. Doug, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
I was going to ask you a question about Reagan in 1986 signed a bill that banned the sale of any automatic weapons after that date. To this day that I know of, all Class 3 weapons that are sold have never been, has a crime ever been committed with them. My question to y'all would be, seems like that's an unconstitutional law. It's never been challenged.
I don't know if it's been challenged or not, but I would agree with you that it is unconstitutional. The right to keep and bear arms doesn't suggest military or non-military grade weapons or anything like that. Admittedly, the founding fathers hadn't seen an automatic weapon. However, they also hadn't seen the internet, and freedom of the press still applies there.
I read recently that you can actually buy a tank. It's legal to buy a tank.
Yes,
it's just really expensive.
It won't fire a weapon, though. And you can't drive it anywhere except around on your own land.
That's a little bit over the top. My point was that basically they drove the market for the Class 2 weapons. Like an M16 is $28,000, which normally costs the government but $500 to manufacture. So an individual that wanted one, even though it's not, has to pay the tax, pay $28,000. If you take that band off, it would drive that market price down.
Sure.
And that's and like you say, the founding fathers looked at flintlock. The government had flintlock. People had flintlock. And if it was established today, the government has M16s. The civilian population has M16s. That is our tool against tyranny. In other words, have the people armed with the same weapons that the government has.
Yeah, I tend to think that that's. I know that that's the talking point around the Second Amendment. I don't believe that that's the case. Now, I do believe in rights, and I believe you have, therefore, the right to life, and you have the right to protect your own life. You have the right to build tools, and so you have the right to have an automatic weapon because it's a tool to protect your life. I do not believe, however, that the Second Amendment has been successful in staving off, tyranny, because the United States is currently the freest place in the world to own weapons for civilians, best I can tell.
Correct.
And it is sliding down the world's charts as far as economic and social freedoms. So the United States is no longer land of the free. It may be home of the brave. I don't know. But
I disagree. I think what we're seeing happening in Europe is what we're seeing happening with free speech. It's being challenged not only in the United States, but in Europe and Australia, et cetera. A lot of these countries are going through the same thing. We're actually seeing the United States hold up better than a lot of these other countries because we have the First Amendment.
Speech.
Yes.
But, when I talk about economic freedom, I mean opening a business, not having a tax burden, things like that. The United States, I think, is at number 17 on the Heritage Foundation's chart. Mm-hmm. Not exactly a bastion of liberalism there. And I can't remember who does the social freedoms chart, but the United States isn't in the top 10 on that one either.
Cato, in conjunction with the Simon Fraser Institute out of Canada, and there's a German organization that I never can remember the name of.
Yeah. Go ahead, Doug.
All right. Yeah, you're basically, I think the point on the Second Amendment is correct, and the First Amendment, second protects the first.
I agree.
And then the tyranny, like you say, in the government can do pretty much what it wants. And the posse comitatus statute, where the government can't use the military against the civilian population, which has happened in the last couple of decades, several instances.
Well, posse comitatus was removed by George Bush, the second one.
It was removed then?
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, so now they can't use the military against the civilian population if they want to?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to check
makes a
that one
difference.
out. I'm going to verify that one.
Okay, well, we reported on it. I mean, maybe I misinterpreted it at the time, but that was what our reporting was.
Well, my reading of post-comititis was that the president can actually use the military against the civilian population. It's just that one of his generals can't go do it without him. That was my reading.
Martial law. Yeah, martial laws.
Right.
That's the military gets. But that's in cases of extreme instances, not just like Waco, Texas, for instance.
Doug, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. 855-450-3733. We're in break, Ian. Look, but there's no audio.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The phones are open. You are free to call in. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-3733. And Free Talk Live is brought to you really and truly by the amplifiers. And I want to thank PorcupineRealEstate.com for being an amplifier, a gold amplifier. Now, besides advertising on Free Talk Live for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, I don't know what it's been, a long time, they also because they just... well, they can't get affiliated enough, and I think it's great. I love Mark Warden over there at PorcupineRealEstate.com, and as a matter of fact, Mark Warden helped me buy my house. So I would know. I've dealt with a lot of realtors in my time, bought and sold a lot of property, not just for me, but the family and that sort of thing, and different concerned parties. So people tend to consult with me on that. Yes, he's a great realtor. Yes, he caught a problem that would have cost me a lot of money. So porcupinerealestate.com, and thanks to all the amplifiers. Darryl, Posse Comitatus, you've looked this up.
Yeah, well, tell people where they can find out more about the AMP program and join.
amp.freetalklive.com. Thank you.
So the Posse Comitatus was repealed in passage of the 2007 Defense Authorization Bill.
So that's right.
However,
God, I hate it.
The repeal was later repealed.
So I was right.
In 2008. And then it was modified in 2011 with the passage of the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act that extended the definition of covered person for who can be indefinitely detained.
Yeah, I have no clue what that means. But it's just
you know what indefinite detention is?
Yeah, it's just being locked up without a trial.
Right. So they extended the definition to where basically if they consider you to have some kind of association with something that they deem to be hostile towards the United States, then you can go bye-bye forever.
There you go.
Yeah. And you had mentioned about the Economic Freedom Index. I pulled that up, and the United States, 18th on the list.
So
it's put out by Heritage.
Okay.
Right, and I think these ratings just recently came out.
Okay.
Because this is the 2018 ranking.
Right.
And one thing that's interesting, of the countries in the top 10, 5 of them are monarchies. 4 of them do not have a written constitution.
Can you explain to me what a monarchy is by the definition that you're using here? Because I know England's a monarchy, but only sorta.
Yeah, so the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand are all... Okay. All of those countries, the head of state is Queen Elizabeth II. They are a monarchy.
Yeah, okay. But...
Yeah, okay, so...
United Arab Emirates, you're going to dispute that one too because the guy is called an emirate, not a king?
No, that's certainly a monarchy.
Monarch.
Also, Liechtenstein is a good example of a free place with a monarch. They've got a prince. And Singapore is economically free, not socially free.
Right.
And they've got a dictator, basically. You can call him a monarch, or you can call him whatever you want. He's functionally a monarch. And so I will not disagree with you that monarchies and correlations to freedom. I would say that forms of government and their correlation to freedom is the democracies, as they're called, get far more credit than they deserve.
Right. And the reason that I point out how many of these are monarchies and that 4 of them that I know of don't have written constitutions is because conservatives love pointing out we're a constitutional republic. That means freedom. Well, China also technically a constitutional republic because they have a written constitution, and the name of the country is the People's Republic of China.
Isn't DPRK North Korea?
The Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
And they have a constitution.
Also a constitutional republic.
It's a good one.
Okay, but let's look at the democracies in the Western societies and compare the constitutional governments with the non-ones.
Okay.
And this is really, I think, what we're seeing right now is that even when during good times they have as much as freedom as a constitutional government, when times start to get a little bit more difficult, the government has an easier time cracking down on the people if there's no constitution to protect them. And I think that's what we're seeing going on right now.
Well, New Zealand never had doesn't have a constitution, and it's. Are you calling it a monarchy? Let's call it a republic just for kicks.
It's not a republic. If it was a republic, it would be kicked out of the Commonwealth.
All right, whatever. So New Zealand has no constitution at all, does whatever it wants, and has always been near the top of the world.
Head of state.
I love New Zealand. I kind of want to move there. I haven't been there, but I've studied all about it. I don't think the test is, are things good when everybody's getting along? I think the test is what happens when people stop getting along, and what happens when people start trying to get control of the government so they can control part of the population.
I think that's what's happening in the
Then you wind up
U.S.
with an orange man with goofy hair.
And I think that's where the Constitution is going to come into play. Not when everybody's getting along, but when they're not.
I tend to agree with Lysander Spooner that the Constitution's either authorized the tyranny that we have or been powerless to prevent it.
Well, I think that it stops some of it. And that's all you can really ask for from a piece of paper. Obviously, the politicians and the people, they don't stand for the Constitution in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't stop anything because it's just a piece of paper. But when politicians don't pay any attention to it and the people don't hold them to it, you go out there and do a man on the street and ask people what's in the Constitution, you're going to find just as many people believe that you have the right to own a pet as you do as you do the right to free speech.
Well, I would say you do have a right to own a pet. That would technically be enveloped under the Ninth Amendment that says the enumeration of rights is not exhaustive and you have all other rights.
I think that governments are, even in democracies, aren't run by majorities. They're run by minorities who influence the rest of the population. So it's what does...
Yeah, that's what democracy is, because you never have a majority of people actually vote.
So what do those minority populations believe in? And if you have a large minority population believing in the Constitution, they are at the very least going to slow down the oppression of other people's rights when people start to disagree.
Let's go to Doug calling in from Kansas. Doug, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how are you?
All's well.
There's some misperceptions of Amtrak. First of what you talked about earlier. First of all, Amtrak ridership is at an all-time record high.
Really?
You Google that.
As a percent of the population?
No, in terms of ridership, real numbers. 31 million people rode Amtrak last fiscal year. Do a Google search on Amtrak ridership. The highest in 30 years. And do you guys know why Amtrak was even founded? Do you have any idea? Have you read up on it? Why the free enterprise system failed at passenger rail?
Okay.
Because the government funded airlines and highways.
That makes sense.
You do know that, right?
Makes sense.
You do know why Amtrak was founded, right?
Well, because the private railroad companies couldn't make it.
No, they couldn't, because the government built all the highways. They're not required to be subsidy-free. The government built all the airports. Delta didn't pay a dime to build O'Hare or Atlanta or any other airport. They pay fees to land.
It reminds me of the Harry Brown statement where the government will break your leg and then hand you a crutch and you're supposed to say thanks.
Yeah, well, that's not the same thing. People go to Europe and other places and say, wow, the United States is a third world passenger rail system. Well, it's because of policy and laws and lobbyists. The highway lobby doesn't want a dime to go to transit or rail or anything besides roads.
I can fly to Florida for $120. It's going to cost me $600 to take the train.
I hear what you're saying.
Uncle Sam, buddy.
Right. Well, I hear what you're saying about the government built all of the roads.
Who paid for it?
However, also when you compare to Europe, Europe is a lot more densely populated. It makes the trains a lot more.
That's a specious argument too, because the long distance passenger trains in the United States are at record highs, and they've never been invested in.
Before you go,
they've never been improved.
Doug, I think you've got some great points. I think you've got some great points.
You want the truth or not?
I think you've got some great points. Check out Romance of the Rails, published by the Cato Institute, and I think you'll find.
Cato hates Amtrak. Cato hates transit. They're like, you could tell them the sky is blue, they'd argue that.
So I guess you're not going to read it, huh? All right. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Well, yeah, you don't want the truth, do you?
Well, I just listened. You just had 2 minutes of the radio. Thank you. Free Talk Live.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 Items You Must Have to Survive a Crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly?
Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Talk Live Sunday edition. You can call in with your opinions on, well, anything, including Amtrak. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
We got into an impassioned conversation about Amtrak in the last segment, and I think it's worth pursuing a little bit more. Doug wanted to point out that Amtrak has higher ridership than it has had in its history, and also that it basically the roads and the airlines have been subsidized by the government. Thus, it's not a fair playing field. So that was why Amtrak was created. I don't think it's a good idea to socialize, railroads, but I can see the point that if your competition's getting free money, obviously they're going to be able to compete better. I tend to wonder why someone would want to make the trip, say, from Brattleboro, Vermont, down to Orlando, because you can't get all the way to Sarasota. Orlando's final station, I think it's Sanford. On a train over the course of probably 2 days and sleep on a...
It's 9 hours from Brattleboro to D.C.
Yeah, and then it's going to be...
And probably about that same distance, if not a little further, down to Orlando.
Yeah, you're going to sleep at least overnight on one of those big... They've got big, more comfortable chairs than a plane does, but you're in them a lot longer, too,
right.
So they need to be. You got a lot more leg room. You can get up. You can walk around with a lot more ease.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about the blue glove love from the TSA and those kind of things. But the price tag is prohibitive to travel from here to there compared to an airplane.
Right. And then, if you're taking, say, a shorter trip, like from New Hampshire to New York City or D.C., then the price is going to be a little bit better for an Amtrak than if you were to fly from New Hampshire to D.C. Yes, it would be faster to fly, but then it's one of those questions where you have to ask yourself, would you rather have a little extra money or little extra time?
The train makes the most sense if the place where you're going to has really good local public transportation,
right,
and really high parking rates, as in New York City. And also if your trip is only maybe 3 or 4 hours, because then even if the plane ride itself would be shorter, you have to get to the airport in advance, you have to go through security. So by the time you're said and done, even if the plane ride itself is only about an hour, you're going to spend at least 3 or 4 hours dealing with planes and airports. So it's actually faster to take the train, even if the train is 3 hours.
Well, even if I have to agree that I would rather take the train to D.C. from New England. The reason being that the costs of driving to D.C. is significantly higher, like with all the tolls and everything that's in there. Plus, once you get there, there's no place to park, and parking's expensive. Yeah, the airline can solve some of those problems, but really, honestly, the government and its TSA program incentivizes people to take things like trains and automobiles. Automobiles compared to planes are basically a suicide pact. I mean, when you look at the statistical likelihood of being harmed in a plane ride versus an automobile ride, significantly more in an automobile. So I think that people are going to continue to make what really are rational decisions surrounding trains, and rational decisions surrounding trains are, it's really awesome to take the Empire Builder or the Zephyr and see all those really cool vistas over the course of a day and see that in a lifetime. But that, a trip from Chicago to Seattle or San Francisco.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'd rather take a plane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not going to make much sense. Going from New England to D.C., okay, you might have me on the train there, because I've taken that trip in planes, trains, and automobiles. And I will say
it's about the same amount of time no matter which way you go.
Yeah, and it's more enjoyable on the train.
It is.
Yeah.
But I don't. As far as costs go, I think it's hard to beat a car with good mileage. Not to say that that's the best way to make a decision.
Except for parking, because if you're going to Manhattan, parking is like $60 a night. It's crazy.
Often you can park outside of the city at the end of a subway line.
But then I'd rather just take the train.
I hear you.
So some advice: if you're in New England going to New York City, park in Stamford, Connecticut. Take the light rail in.
Yeah, it's good advice. Go to Gary calling from Colorado. Gary, you're on Free Talk Live.
Gary?
Hey, good evening. Hey, sorry to diverge from the trains, planes, and automobile conversation.
No, that's fine.
Interesting conversation. Hey, I wanted to get Free Talk Live's opinion on what I call workfare versus welfare.
Okay.
And workfare is meaning that I'm a compassionate person, but I think that everybody ought to earn their nickel, their dime, or their quarter as they go along. So a system where there is a welfare system, but you have to work for that income.
I think it gets difficult when you're dealing with mothers with children. Many of the people who receive what we're talking about as welfare are families. In many cases, it's the children that are receiving the benefits because they their moms are
the WIC, the SNAP.
Right. The way it's counted is that the children are receiving it, not the mothers.
Okay, so I was on welfare when my kids were really little, and I thought that one of the really good things about the program, they were trying to get people off of welfare. The welfare itself, I was in Texas at the time, it was $200 a month.
Yeah, that's nothing.
For a family of 3. It was ridiculous. The programs to get you off of welfare were great as long as I could show I was making a certain amount of money, and I started my own. This is when I started my law firm. As long as I could show I was making a certain amount, they subsidized my daycare.
Okay.
So instead of the daycare being $1,000 a month, I was only paying $150, and that was for a year. It was a year transitional daycare assistance, so that I could work. So I thought that was really good. And then after
and that's
a year
subsidy
ended,
to your daycare. That's not requiring you to send your kids to a particular daycare.
no,
right?
exactly. It's like
Okay.
like a voucher.
Okay, good. Gary?
Okay, question on that. I like your ideas. What about a pay-it-forward system? So you have, the single mother on WIC and all these other programs. What if at some point in the future that there's a requirement to pay back the system?
That's called taxes.
No, we all pay those. This is
Exactly.
a get-out-of-jail-free card. I pay taxes. I don't get these subsidies. There's a subsidized piece where in the future you have received the subsidy, you've gotten back on your feet, and you can support yourself and pay back what you have taken from me as the taxpayer.
Well, you put a libertarian in a difficult position, because what you're saying is how can we design this government program, this inefficient organization, in order to make it more efficient, this immoral organization, to make it more immoral. And, if that's being done, then there's going to be all kinds of proposals from all sides of the gallery here, and including mine, which is everybody who receives welfare should have to have their tubes tied. And I think
note, Mark does not apply that to government employees who are also receiving stolen money.
The government employees are, I didn't, that's not the criteria, though. I said the people on welfare, not the government employees.
Well, you had previously said anybody receiving government funding.
I don't think I ever said that.
Yes, you did.
I said receiving government benefit.
Okay, here's what
a benefit has a legal definition.
Here's what the program actually is. In order to get the welfare, I had to cooperate with the government to sue the father of the children, and so that they could recover the money that they paid me in welfare. So they docked his pay. What do you call it when you take money out of somebody's paycheck?
Yeah, they docked his pay or whatever. Yeah,
they
garnished his wages.
They garnished his wages. They garnished his wages until they had recovered all of the money that they gave me.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting conversation, but I consider welfare like all kinds of things where we subsidize a farmer because they've had a bad year. Everybody has a bad time. Let's make society where they can actually pay back.
I'm just trying to think of. I'm trying to think of how many hundreds, if not thousands, of bureaucrats would have to be hired to try to, figure out who are we collecting money from and how much, and then it's just going to be wasted on hiring the bureaucrats.
Yeah, they're still gonna mess it up no matter what.
Yeah, and you mentioned the corporate welfare and farmers. Ted Turner gets millions of dollars every year in farm subsidies because he has a lot of farmland in Montana. Ted Turner's not a farmer.
The solution is no subsidies.
Yes.
No, he's not a farmer. Yeah. So the solution is no subsidies for anybody to make your own bed and sleep in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how I see it, and that Americans.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if my parents if they had lower taxes to pay, they could have helped me out more. But because they're paying all this money in taxes, then they didn't have as much to help me out with.
And ultimately, whether it's a farmer or whatever it is, the Americans should bear the weight of the cost of food. There's no reason for the government to subsidize corn but not subsidize lettuce. It doesn't make any sense. 855
or pinto beans or red meat or pork or I agree. So,
thanks for the call, Gary. Appreciate it.
Hey, very appreciate talking to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE.
Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, December 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.56 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,238 per ounce. Zen is trading at $4, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,285. Antiwar.com reports on Friday the Parliament of Kosovo voted in favor of the creation of a 5,000-man standing army. The plan has been deeply criticized by NATO, which has warned it will force them to re-examine their own military presence. The plan has been discussed for a few weeks, with NATO opposing the idea. The U.S. endorsed the plan, saying it was a historic move for Kosovo. Serbia, which still views Kosovo as part of its territory, has warned that they may have to react militarily to the new army. The issue from the Serbian perspective is that the Western-backed Kosovo government is Albanian-dominated and prone to violent crackdowns on the region's ethnic Serbian minority. The concern is that the military will just be used to escalate this and try to expel what's left of the Serbs from northern Kosovo. NATO forcibly separated Kosovo from Serbia and has continued to back their independence. The split left a number of Serbs who opposed the separation on the Kosovo side of the NATO-imposed border, and Kosovo has been trying to prevent them trading and traveling across the border. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the Pineda family trudged northward for more than a month with a group of migrants of Central Americans who now are stuck at the U.S. border. But they were on the run in Honduras much longer than that due to fears of political persecution. According to the family's accounts, masked men in military uniforms came in November 2017 to their door in the town of Peña Blanca, brandishing handguns and giving them two options: leave or be killed. They chose to leave, taking refuge with friends and family for nearly a year, they said, before joining thousands of others in a 2,800-mile journey to the United States in October. The confrontation occurred on November 26, 2017, the night of Honduras's presidential election. Active in the leftist opposition Libre Party, the Pinedas believed their tormentors were loyal to conservative President Juan Orlando Hernandez. His security forces killed at least 16 people in major street protests that followed his disputed re-election, and nobody has been criminally charged, according to a report from the United Nations. Secundina Pineda, one of four sisters living with their 65-year-old father and a toddler inside a tent at a migrant camp in Tijuana, Mexico, said, "They told me that for getting people involved in political parties, they were going to fill me with lead." Their story points to the largely overlooked political violence in Honduras that, along with grinding poverty, has helped create a humanitarian crisis at the U.S. doorstep. Reuters, however, could not independently verify the story. Secundina is the most educated of her family, having studied business administration. A Honduran armed forces spokesman vehemently denied denied the account or any other political persecution, but human rights observers in Honduras and immigration lawyers representing some of the migrants said they have heard similar stories of security forces entering homes and intimidating opposition political activists. Military police have conducted arbitrary searches and seizures and broken up opposition demonstrations, according to the rights groups, a contention denied by the military. In a country with one of the highest murder rates in the world, death squads have conducted 38 massacres of 5 or more people in 2018, according to Berta Oliva, director of the human rights group Committee of the Relatives of the Disappeared in Honduras. She contended that political cases are written off as common crime. Captain Jose Dominga Mesa, a military spokesman, said the Honduran armed forces absolutely do not persecute anybody, adding a lot of people who are trying to get asylum in the United States are looking for political justification, a lot of times blaming the armed forces. We invite this family that says they've been persecuted to return to the country. U.S. immigration lawyer Maritza Agundez estimated 20 to 25% of her coalition's clients are Hondurans with credible political asylum cases. The Hondurans who report harassment from official security forces vow never to return home. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Right now, it's looking like tonight's record $500 million Powerball drawing could be cancelled, as embarrassed lottery officials have admitted they lost the balls. Douglas Bronstein, deputy director of the Multi-State Lottery Association, addressed the press moments ago. We have a quote. "We know how important the balls are to a successful drawing. I saw them the other day, and I'm sure they'll turn up somewhere." Bronstein says it's usually marketing director Ben Callahan's job to keep an eye on the balls, but when reached for comment, Callahan said he just sits next to the balls. It's not his job to know where they are every second of every day. According to Bronstein, it's crucial they find the balls before tonight's drawing. Quote, "We'd love to use different balls, but these ones have the numbers on them." Bronstein added that once they figure out where the balls are, they promise to keep them in some sort of case instead of just lying around the office. When we return, we'll meet some of the undeterred Powerball superfans who are camping out before the big drawing dressed as their favorite numbers.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. It is the live Sunday edition. And if it is between 7 and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, wherever you might be, you can call Free Talk Live 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and talk freely live on the radio. That's what we do here. It's Mark.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
855-450-3733. Let's go right into the phones. We've got Jesse calling in from Chattanooga. Jesse, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. I was just kind of wanting to add to your comments when you were talking about the planes, trains, and automobiles. I live in Chattanooga, and as most of the country knows, Chattanooga is known as for the choo-choo.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't had passenger rail service in almost 40 years. So we were looking at taking an Amtrak. My wife and I were taking our children to Disney World, and we wanted to look at taking an Amtrak maybe down to Orlando from Atlanta, which Atlanta's we sit an hour and a half between Atlanta and 2 hours south. We're an hour and a half north of Atlanta and 2 hours south of Nashville. So we're right between two of the fastest growing cities in the country. And but Atlanta, in order to get to Orlando by Amtrak from Atlanta, we would have had to go from Atlanta to Washington, D.C., and then change planes in D.C. down and then go down to Orlando.
Yeah, that's not going to be a pleasant ride.
Craziest thing ever. I'm thinking, here in the middle of the country, we don't have we pay for that Amtrak through our taxes, but it doesn't serve this part of the country. And one of the problems in the South, I've lived in San Francisco, I've been to New York, I've been to Detroit, I've been to Chicago. In the South, we still very much identify with our cars, and we still view public transit as poor people's way of transportation. And every other part of the country, they see it as a means of getting to and from, regardless of your socioeconomic status. But in the South, it's still viewed as unnecessary unless you're too poor to have a car.
I actually think there's only a couple of cities in this country where people use public transportation without viewing it as something for the poor. So that, I think, in the country is the exception.
Yeah, that's sad. That is so sad and that's why it's underfunded. You know, when we went to, so we decided we were going to drive to Orlando, and what should have been an 8.5-hour road trip, there were 4 hours that they didn't tell us about when we had to go to Atlanta, because Atlanta's a nightmare.
Atlanta's a nightmare.
It took us 4 hours. Atlanta's a nightmare. So
yeah, I've driven through Atlanta. I've driven around Atlanta, and no matter which way you go, there's going to be a ton of traffic.
Right. So we go to Florida. There you can't avoid it coming from Chattanooga. But we're just hoping we actually in Chattanooga we had a Vision 2040 meeting, and they invited everybody from the community, which is why Chattanooga has done this turnaround, this major growth that's going on downtown. It's because they've taken the community's input. And one of the things that I would like to see is a passenger rail service, maybe between Nashville and Atlanta, with stop at Chattanooga, or even from Chicago to Miami through the Mid-South. But we're hoping, it's just my voice, but I think that's something that we desperately need to invest more in, this train.
In Florida, let's see, and I think it was in 2002, there was a the only way to make it to get a referendum done in Florida is basically due to a constitutional amendment. So they did a constitutional amendment that basically said, let's have a super fast choo-choo that runs between Orlando, Miami, and Tampa. And when people get to give their opinions without giving their money, they will often, well, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I mean, who doesn't want the option of taking a train? However, that doesn't mean that it's financially expeditious just because somebody won't do it. And, more or less, they dumped millions of dollars into this, and bureaucrats who are, coffee and donuts doing, studies and these sorts of things. And about, I think it was 2 or 4 years later, they decided, well, that's enough money for the bureaucrats. And, not a single track was ever laid, but all kinds of feasibility studies and these sorts of things were done, so that if we ever have to decide that this isn't feasible again in the future, they've got these studies to at least look at the cost.
Nashville did that with a light rail service. They did the studies, and the way they wanted to lay it, the original plans, everybody was on board. But then when they got into it, they realized it wasn't what they said it was going to be. And so they voted it down. But here's the problem: in Nashville, they're averaging about 100 people move there every day. It's what studies show. Again, the folks who do the statistics.
Sure.
But and they said, "Oh, this is too expensive." Well, and my argument there is, it's not going to get any cheaper between now and 10 years. And I'd rather be proactive than reactive. And I think that's an issue that we have here.
So I did an interview probably a month ago now with the Randall O'Toole, the author of Romance of the Rails, from the Cato Institute. This is a railroad historian, a lover of railroads. He's trains and these sorts of things. He's not a kind of person that's going to just diss this stuff. He says that there's only a couple of places in the United States, and these are pre-car cities, the cities that were built before cars, that light rail makes any sense. So it's unlikely that you're going to retrofit Nashville and come up with a feasible light rail system. What's more likely to happen is that, this is just a guess, like you could make some better roads and spend a lot less money doing this, but even so, driverless cars are going to come around. And people are going to, and cars are going to talk to each other, and they're going to fill up that space in between. So when something happens that slows people down on the freeway and it makes a big traffic jam and can't figure out why it is, the driverless cars will fix that and make it so that it just makes a heck of a lot more sense. Also, potentially, we're in the final stages of private passenger cars that maybe organizations like Uber and these sorts of things will provide us with passenger car service, but stuff that we just use when we need it. It's kind of inefficient if you think about spending $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year to park this advanced piece of machinery in your driveway for 10 or 15 years. And it just deteriorates.
So these cars that drive themselves, you would get on your phone and you'd do an app and it would come to your door, take you where you need to go, and then the car goes away until you need it again, and then you use your app. That actually sounds really good.
And there are actual like car share things. I think Zipride is one of them, to where you go on the app, I need a car this amount of time, and somebody will say, I am leaving a car at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse?
Well, I'm an Uber driver, so we're not really excited about the inevitable. We know it's coming, but
you got some time,
and as we always do, we'll adjust. And you, I love being an Uber driver because I like interacting with people, not because I need it as a full-time job. I just like interacting with people, and you never know who you're going to meet. So, but other than that, we're kind of like we're looking like, what does this mean for us? But
I think we're going to have the driverless cars. I think they're going to be common in my lifetime, but not next year and not in 5 years. It's going to be a little while.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday and
you too.
Yep. Merry Christmas to you, Jesse. Thank you. 855-450-3733. If you want to take a train from Chattanooga to Orlando, best thing to do is to drive from Chattanooga to Jessup, Georgia. Hop on the train there and then take it on into Orlando. There'll probably be some kind of parking lot that you can park your car in that'll have fence around it and that sort of thing. But I'm not saying trains aren't fun because they're great. I enjoyed myself. A month-long pass was a little long, but I had a great time. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live, or the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com.
When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 Items You Must Have to Survive a Crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
Following earlier reports of 27-year-old Mark Felder's profound and startling level of pride in his alma mater, the University of Miami alumnus spoke to Onion reporters about his strong affection for the academic institution that left him totally unprepared for the job market and floundering in $50,000 of debt.
I would not trade my time at the University of Miami for anything. Miami has the best college experience in the country, hands down. I had an awesome time there, and it's an amazing place. We've got awesome bars, awesome sports, an awesome campus, and we're pretty much right next to the beach. I mean, what more could you want? You'd have to be crazy not to go there.
Felder, who paid over $140,000 in tuition, told reporters he takes an annual trip to see a Hurricanes football game and visit the university that failed to teach him any marketable job skills whatsoever, leaving him so financially helpless he was forced to move back in with his parents after graduating.
AMI, fight, fight, fight! Yeah, it's all about the U, baby, all about the U. That's what I'm talking about. Go Canes, baby!
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It is the live Sunday edition. And you can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
Bitcoin.com is the best website out there. If you want to find out about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you go there, start your journey. If you already know about cryptocurrencies, fine. Check out the news at news.bitcoin.com. They've got mining options. They've got games you can play with your cryptocurrency. They've got everything you might want at bitcoin.com. It's awesome. They've also got you go to giftcards.bitcoin.com and you can buy gift cards from the major brands out there with your cryptocurrency. They make it easy. Giftcards.bitcoin.com. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Excuse me. Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I wanted to share. There's a million aspects, and we're only going to get to the very beginning of it. But it's rather interesting that I was arrested by NPR for attempting to call into their talk programs and be part of their call-in programs that they solicit callers for, like yours does. Feel free to ask any questions.
What does arrested by NPR mean?
It means that the NPR is the main content provider for the University of New Mexico's radio station, KUNM.
Okay.
That's the majority of their content is NPR. And the KUNM itself has their own little 1-hour call-in program, which they used to call exactly that, the KUNM call-in show. They've now changed it to Let's Talk New Mexico, in case anybody wants to go to KUNM.org. Sarah on their programs, and you'd have to go way back in their archives to hear my voice. So they have this call-in program that's for the state of New Mexico, and KUNM, University of New Mexico. I believe that the University of New Mexico is not a privately owned and operated.
Sure doesn't
and
sound
paid
like
for.
it. University of New Mexico
No.
doesn't have that sound to it.
Right. Well, you said NPR arrested you. They must have the most boring holding cells ever.
Right.
Welcome
well,
to NPR prison.
They happen to. They are rather boring. Matter of fact, that's a whole other issue we can get to another night. Is I was literally tortured in the Socorro County jail.
Not by
literally,
NPR, though.
because if you read the Geneva Convention and if you read what we can do to any prisoner, whether combatant or non-combatant, you can't do to any prisoner what they do to what it was done to me.
Did they make you listen to NPR for 24 hours straight?
Pardon? Yeah, right. That would have made it worse than what it already was, but it was similar to that. But to answer the original question, so I call in as invited. Call in and comment or question. We're talking about whatever, and so I do that. And after several years of calling into, or at least a year of calling into their program, Elaine Baumgartel, the person in charge there at the KUNM call-in show, or now whatever they call it, the Let's Talk New Mexico, Elaine Baumgartel decided that she was no longer going to allow me, my voice, when she solicits callers for her taxpayer-financed job at her taxpayer-financed radio station, at her taxpayer-owned and financed university.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point, David. I think that's a really interesting point. Is that so? This is basically a public service paid for to some extent by tax money. Not to say that University of New Mexico or any other NPR station needs to take the tax money, because honestly, most of their funds come from private donors, but they do. And when they do, they open themselves, to my mind, to these sort of moral questions if they're not legal. I couldn't speak to the legal. I'm not a lawyer, and they've got a bunch of different opinions on the subject anyway. But from a moral standpoint, if you're accepting the public's money, you kind of have to accept the public's calls, whether you like it or not. Now, here on Free Talk Live, obviously it's a private organization. We take calls from all kinds of folks, but we ban people from the air too. We'll do it. So, that's certainly a possibility.
But the parameters are the different. And once again, not just take taxpayer public funds. The University of New Mexico does not just take taxpayer funds. They are owned by the taxpayers, by the citizens of the state of New Mexico. Yeah.
You said that you got arrested. What did they arrest you for? Like, what was the charge?
Because the charge is using the telephone to threaten, harass, offend, something.
So which of those did they say you did? Did they say you threatened or that you harassed?
Or offended?
They did not say that. They did not say which one. It just, I was charged under 30-20-12. That's from memory, New Mexico statute. And so you can easily have it up there in a second if you want to read it. There's like 6 different things, offend, threaten, so on. And they didn't say it. I'm just charged with 30-20-12. And doesn't say which one of those or more that they accuse me of doing.
Did people show up at your house to arrest you?
No, here's another, like I said, we're not going to get to this all tonight. There's another highly interesting aspect of this, is that there's been a warrant out there for my arrest for a year and a half. And the cops finally, in a year and a half, found some reason to run my ID and found out there was this warrant.
For what?
From this for 30-20-12, using the telephone to...
I see.
Okay.
Pardon?
So they just issued a warrant and never out. How long before they dropped the charge?
Well, I don't know. I actually don't want them to drop the charge because I think this. I think legally. I think they'll try to, and I'm in an odd situation of being a charged with a crime that I'm going to argue that they do not dismiss, because I want to see them battle it out in court.
Okay, wait. You said that you were tortured, so they did take you in at some point.
This was a different charge.
Yeah, well, they took me in immediately upon running my driver's license.
Okay.
What
was the torture?
Yeah. Well, I was in the jail for sure a solid 48 hours and short of 72 hours in a holding cell with the lights on full bright continuously for that entire time. Never saw daylight outside, whether it was
the lights.
night
the
or
lights
day.
for the torture?
Well, it's more than that. I'm answering your question.
Okay.
That was one of the things. the floor was completely covered with people that were being held there. In this case, the small room. There was only 4. When you sat down on the toilet, the man's face that was lying closest to the toilet was between your legs.
Oh my God!
And yeah, and I can go on. I can go on farther, more and more, and just kind of bore people with other things that technically cross the line, but I mean, if you
it
have
does
a
sound like an
legs,
illegal overcrowding situation.
Yeah, it's really unpleasant. Thank you for the call, David. I think it's an interesting case.
Yeah.
I do want to hear more about it in the future.
Yeah.
I'm also curious if this show is something, because it appears to only be one day a week.
Oh.
Is it something that somebody is volunteering to do? If so, they're not being paid to do the show.
It's still on a government-owned
right, but
station.
If it's a community access sort of thing, then I wouldn't say any host is obligated to do anything.
I think it's curious. Obviously, the details matter in this circumstance. 855-450-3733.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
We know you've had Dragon's Breath in the morning, but you've got to experience Dragon's Breath at night. Wolf Hill Ammo's Dragon's Breath, an incendiary shotgun round in 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and a 410 with an amazing muzzle flash and a fireball that launches up to 125 yards. Pure fun to shoot. At Wolf Hill Ammo, we love shotguns and offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market. Visit wolfhillammo.com to see our large selection of specialty shotgun ammo at great prices with flat rate shipping. wolfhillammo.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com, advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
We've got calls coming in, and you can call too. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We've been all over the board tonight. Lots of different calls from people advocating for monarchies to Amtrak to the United States sliding down the world's freedom charts. 6 tips for living a happier life. Let me tell you about how you can live a happier life simply by buying a pillow. Okay? I'm not kidding. My Pillow doesn't pay me to do this ad. Yes, we do get a spiff for any My Pillow you buy, and we should, because we really like these pillows. What My Pillow does is hold your head and neck in the proper position. This is great if you're having trouble sleeping and you get headaches and these sorts of things. You have neck pain. This is a quick, easy, cheap way. Don't buy a mattress first. Buy a pillow first. My Pillow will help solve that problem. But lots of pillows will hold your head and neck in the right position. None that I know of will hold your head and neck in the right position, and you can wash it, because washing is really important. If you've had a pillow, and I don't know, when was the last time you washed your pillow? I can tell you for me, been less than, I was on vacation. It's been less than 60 days as a result, but I can't tell you how many nights of those I actually slept on the pillow. And that means that there's not all the awful critters rolling around in my pillow that there are in yours. It's mypillow.com, promo code FTL. And with the 60-day, you get a 60-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. You go to mypillow.com, get 2 pillows, premium pillows for one low price, and you get free shipping on all orders when you use our promo code FTL. If you don't like the MyPillow, you have 60 days to return it for a refund of your purchase price. mypillow.com, promo code FTL. Let's go to the Christian Anarchist calling in from Tennessee. Christian Anarchist, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi.
I'd like to talk about trains, since you were talking about trains earlier. And, when I go to China, I get to ride the trains a lot of time. And I've ridden Amtrak, but it was a long time ago. I have a lot of friends who have a lot of experience with Amtrak, and they haven't been extremely good. But I wanted to compare the Chinese trains to the Amtrak experience.
Okay.
And in China, of course, you see that in China, the trains are heavily government subsidized.
Makes sense.
Yeah, almost 100%, because that's what the Chinese government wants to do, is they want to make trains go everywhere, so they make trains go everywhere. But they are very, very good trains, and they go very fast. The high-speed trains there go close to 200 miles an hour, and they do have one maglev train in Shanghai that'll go closer to 300 miles an hour.
Sounds pretty awesome.
It's not very long. It's only about an 18-mile track, but the whole trip takes 8 minutes. So
somebody had to build it somewhere to get the first one going.
Yeah, and it was a German design, but it was built there in Shanghai by the Chinese, but with the help of the Germans. They have another one in Germany, by the way, same basic model. But the trains over there, they run on time. You know how the commies can make the trains run on time. So they've got a very good...
the train runs on time or you'll die.
But when you get to the end of the train trip, you also die.
It's really a very good experience on the trains over there. Then they go, like I say, they're very well on. time. And there's a lot of them. There was one time we were in Wuhan and we wanted to get a train to Beijing, and we were trying to get a ticket, but they were sold out. And the guy behind the ticket counter was saying, well, I'm sorry, the tickets are sold out. And I think there's each train can handle like 500-600 people. I don't know, something like that. But he says, we've only got 18 trains a day going to Beijing. And he didn't say that to be funny.
Yeah.
He said that he was being serious. We've only got 18 trains a day going to Beijing. He was sorry that they didn't have more. So this is the way trains are over there. It's like, it's way different than over here. It's everybody rides the train if they got anywhere to go.
I'm kind of curious about this, Gene. It's my understanding that the trains that the travel between provinces in China isn't allowed for Chinese citizens necessarily. They've got to stay in their little provinces. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because you talk about China a lot, and I'm curious. This is something I've heard. You're not allowed to leave your spot.
Yeah, it's not like that. At least I've never ever seen any of that. You can get on a train in Shanghai and go to Beijing. You can go to Wuhan. You can go to wherever. I mean, you just get on the train and you go. Now they do, I guess, with this new social score that they've got on everybody, you can actually get denied when you buy the ticket.
Wow, for not having the right political opinions?
Yeah, well, it's a social score. So they have how we have a credit score over here.
Uh-huh.
Well, they have a social score over there, and the social score includes all kinds of things like if you posted some stuff online that wasn't right, if some of your friends have posted things online that they didn't like.
So it's basically political.
Well, it's not all political. Some of it is just if you did a lot of jaywalking, if you got a bunch of traffic tickets.
If you're not a model citizen.
Yeah. So
right.
breaking the law even in small ways. Not
right.
doing what the government wants you to do.
Right. And when your social score drops below a certain number, then I guess at that point they won't even let you buy a train ticket.
Wow.
But assuming that you're not on their little blacklist, and 99% of the population is not because they travel all over.
I would be on the blacklist.
It's really easy to get around, and then there's also the train. The airplanes. They're getting more and more airplanes. Their skies are pretty crowded now. Actually, the air traffic is routed into these small corridors because of the military, and so the planes are often delayed. They're not like the trains. Trains are always on time, but the airplanes are often delayed because they are trying to squeeze too many airplanes into too few of the corridors to get them to their location.
They have an overpopulation problem. There's just too many people.
Do. Well, only in the cities, though. The world is not overpopulated.
In the air.
Oh, in the air, yes, because they've got such narrow corridors. But even,
and in the train, you said they don't have enough trains.
Yeah, and because everybody wants to go from one population center to the next population center.
You say the world isn't overpopulated? I challenge you to go check out the West Coast. This is, it's very populated, and they're using so much water that they are, causing their water tables to have saltwater intrusion. So their water tables full of salt water. That's when you've got too many people in an arid climate.
But you're talking about West Coast United States. We were talking about China.
I know. I'm just. I think it's worth pointing out that
about the world. The world in general is not overpopulated.
I'd agree. I think the distribution of human beings on the world is messed up, though.
Well, because everybody wants to go see Disneyland. So they want to go live near Disneyland in Hollywood. So, yeah, they all squeeze into that little area. It's because people are idiots. It's not because the world is overcrowded.
Well, yeah, people just don't follow the rules we want them to follow.
Those people keep doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
That free will.
And they can. They can squeeze into L.A. if they want to. I don't want to live there. I don't go there if I can avoid it.
Unfortunately, there is an infinity gauntlet. You can't just snap your fingers and make half of them go away. So that's just how that goes.
So the travel in China sounds great, but I think everybody in this room would have been blacklisted. So
Yeah, I'm wondering if
I'm
probably blacklisted now. If I tried to go to China now, I'd get blacklisted.
China's already blacklisted.
I kind of doubt it. I mean, I've been.
You don't know us.
Yes, he does.
No, he does.
I'm pretty radical.
He knows 2/3 of us.
Yeah, I'm pretty radical over there, and I don't get blacklisted. So, especially if you're a foreigner,
Yeah, okay, maybe if you're a foreigner.
Same rules do not apply.
Thanks for the call, Gene. Appreciate it. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom, here on Free Talk Live. Or you can use Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Final segment of Free Talk Live.
Last chance.
Yeah, we might be able to get you. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Laurel, during the break, you were discussing, you've just started up a YouTube channel?
Yeah, a couple of months ago. It's The Truth About Immigration.
And then do you have to look for The Truth About Immigration on YouTube?
Yes.
Or can you Google it? Or do you got a website, thetruthaboutimigration.com? Or how's that work?
No, go to YouTube, and in the search on YouTube, do The Truth About Immigration.
Excellent. Well, it is the second largest search engine on the internet. There you go. The Truth About Immigration. So what kind of things do you discuss briefly?
Immigration.
Yeah. Like, what's the truth about it, though? I mean,
exactly.
You're an immigration attorney, I guess, is probably your mode of expertise there.
Yeah, so I talk about the issues of the day. There's a video on there about the 7-year-old girl who died. I talk about public benefits for immigrants and the caravan, and especially with a focus on the legality of the issue. Since I am an attorney, I come at it from the point of view of an attorney.
Yeah, and the laws are what really matter when it comes to immigration, ultimately, whether I like them or not. 855-450-3733. Let's go to Rain calling in from Virginia. Rain, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. Earlier on your program, one of your commentators said something about being a libertarian that he was. Well, I'm a libertarian too, and I agree with him that he said that anyone that goes on our social welfare program should have their tubes tied. But what about men who don't pay their child support and continue to have children? Should they have a vasectomy as well?
I suppose that, at that point you could... Like, the difficulty is that when one takes welfare, the idea would be that they're opting into something. So if they opt in, like with the guy who doesn't pay his child support, you got to kind of hold him down, shove a rubber tube in his mouth, and then do the operation right there. And that doesn't look like anything voluntary as opposed to the other. What I would suggest in that circumstance is I'm ready to make donations to any charity that wants to offer a certain amount of money for vasectomies. So, like my guess is if you're willing to take money for a vasectomy, you need one. So, $500. I think there's a lot of people would do it.
Right. Well, still, we have to address the problem of people who don't pay their child support.
Sure, they throw them in jail. Here, how about this? To get out of jail, you can get time off of your sentence by getting the vasectomy. That's voluntary.
I like it. What a brilliant idea. No wonder I listened to you.
Thanks for the call, Rain.
I think the Supreme Court has already shot that down.
Why?
I think
because it's under duress kind of thing?
It was there was some men who had been convicted of rape, and they were offered
chemical castration.
Exactly, chemical castration instead of jail time. And the Supreme Court ruled that it was cruel and unusual punishment, even if they were choosing it instead of jail time.
Man,
as I recall.
See, this is the thing: is that at this point, the only possibility for punishment in this country is incarceration. Ultimately, you can pay a fine. If you refuse to pay the fine, you may go on probation or house arrest. If you do poorly at probation and house arrest, you may go to jail. By the way, you could go directly to jail. And ultimately, it's all about incarceration. Incarceration is basically, it's a criminal school where people learn how to commit crimes. It's a terrible idea.
We pay for it.
Yeah.
Taxpayers pay for it. It's super expensive.
Yeah, I mean, bring back the stocks. I don't know. Something that's going to work here. Chemical castration for sex offenders sounds like a wonderful idea. I don't see why they would shoot that down. But, as the case may be. And I spent some time in prison. I would have absolutely taken a certain amount of time off my sentence for a vasectomy. Yeah, sure, line me up, no problem. And I'm sure other people would have too. Make it.
And now you wouldn't be a father.
Well, look. There are lots of kids out there that need fathers, and I could have, taken one of these kids that needs some kind of male role model in their life. It would not necessarily. It doesn't have to be your own flesh and blood for you to.
Right. I'm just saying. Like when you start going back of if I would have done X 5 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever. Well, here's all of the other things that would wind up being vastly different.
Sure. I mean, you're not exactly talking about a hurricane created by butterfly wings when you say if I'd have got a vasectomy in 1998, that I wouldn't have had a child in 2008. You're right. So
incidentally, when my daughter was born, if they'd said, you get your tubes tied if you want the welfare, I would have done it. I was going to do it anyway, but my mom talked me out of it. So yeah, I would have taken that option. Sure.
Right. And
I already had the kids.
I'm not in your or mine circumstances. It seems like we've got upstanding adults that are contributing to society and these sorts of things. I would call that the collateral damage of something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But, ultimately, it's a terrible idea. What our current welfare system basically incentivizes women to have more kids for money. It's not much money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have a job, you don't intend to ever get a job, and you've never had really any prospects, a little bit of money, you don't want to place the incentives towards having children for the people that are clearly least qualified for life.
The TANF was really low. That was the cash assistance. What was much more valuable was the Medicaid for me and the kids.
Sure.
The SNAP, which is the food stamps, and then of course the transitional child care assistance. Those were all a lot more valuable.
How much were you getting in food stamps?
It was a couple $100 a month for the three of us.
Yeah.
And I got WIC as well, and that was the real value there was the baby formula, which was worth $100 a month.
What about diapers?
No, I had to use the TANF for that.
Okay, interesting. Let's call Stephen from New Jersey. Stephen, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
First, I want to say that I do want to talk about my experience as a single father and what I went through. But first, I'd say your comment that some people will have more children just to get more welfare. And yes, that is true. I've seen that.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible, horrible fact.
It's a horrible fact. I mean, it's not a good fact. It's not even a wise economic choice, but it happens.
It happens. My situation was my wife got sick and wasn't able to care for the children. I never was on welfare. I had to take care of the small babies, the 1-year-old and 2-year-old by myself. And I lost my job because I had to juggle things around, take care of what take the kids if my kids had a little fever and had to be out for a couple of days. They had doctor's notes. You know, I don't have solutions to that, but the only solution I have is to stay tight with any source, anybody that can help you, and just hold out until the kids are in elementary school. And that was when things started to get going for me. But in the very beginning, I had to collect welfare. I had to collect food stamps, WIC, and I never did any of that stuff before ever in my life. I worked all of my life.
Yep.
And it was like a shock.
Yeah, if your wife's ill, if it's a single-person household, this is the real difficulty with it is that how are you going to do this? With childcare, it's nearly impossible.
And I absolutely know what you're talking about. When I was on all of this assistance, it was hard for me because I never thought I would end up in that situation. I had a law degree. I'd worked hard all of my life, and I just, through a series of events, wound up in this situation. So all of this public assistance, it did for me what it's supposed to do, which is help me get back on my feet. I was only on it for maybe about a year.
Sounds like it did that for Stephen too.
Right. So for me, it was not a way of life. It was temporary. I needed it. I don't think there's any shame in recognizing that you need some assistance for a short period of time, but we have to stop people from making it a way of life.
And I finally, I don't even think about that anymore. I now have 3 jobs. My kids they're back with my wife, and I'm working and supporting her, and I'm working 3 jobs, and I can't see living off the system like that, like some people do. But I can see some people's anger at people that do live off the system, and there should be anger at that, and those people should be held accountable. And in the state of New Jersey, there are some requirements that people on welfare have to go through. They do have to do some community-based, not community service, but like a work program and a an educational program.
Yeah, I was required to attend this class on how to get a job. I was required to show that I was looking for a job. Then I was able to show that I was starting my law firm and that I was starting to get money from it. But I had to check in with them. I had to prove all this stuff. So, yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yeah, but you know what, though? All those programs, guess what? They cost taxpayers money, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Stephen, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
855. Well, I've given the number. freetalklive.com is what I'm supposed to say now. What else am I supposed to say, Daryl?
We'll be back tomorrow, as we are every night of the week, including all these holidays that are coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to be live.
Live. It's true. It's true. And you'll be here doing it? Yep.
I'll be here next week.
Email is easy, instant, and free, and that can be real embarrassing. Email lacks the eye contact and body language you get in face-to-face conversation, or the tone of voice and other nuance you hear in a telephone conversation. Email is just words, often few words. We're all smothering in spam, so we often reply in terse fashion that's easy to misunderstand. And email doesn't cost you a postage stamp, and it lacks the deliberation time it'd take to walk to the snail mail box, so it's easy to succumb to the "oh yeah" stimulus response trap. When in doubt, don't snap back at snippy messages you get. You may have mistaken the sender's intent. And unless you're sending AOL to AOL, there's no unsend. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone, and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM. The latest edition of FPP Radio News is next on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Get more at FPPRadio.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W.